his secretive society, the War Room.
The War Room is a whirlpool. Once you're in, and it's hard to get out.
Speaking to women who say they were targeted by this shadowy organization.
As soon as I walked in the door, he pushed me to my knees and smacked me really hard across the face.
And whistleblowers who are now ready to reveal what's really going on.
Let's not kid ourselves. This is a cult.
Who's in charge
Of the War Room?
Could someone else be behind the cult of Andrew Tate?
Oh, fuck, there he is, he's right there. I just saw him come out. Dude, just go. I want to ask you a couple questions.
Hello.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining us, Matt. I've seen both the films now, and it's a pretty sobering watch. And you have had pretty direct contact with Andrew Tate. Have you heard from him since you finished editing the film?
Yeah, he messages me quite frequently. He just recently messaged me to say that I'm his only chance for relevance, which just gives you an idea of the kind of level of arrogance that he has.
Yeah.
Although he is to a degree kind of right, because that's why I'm here today. but yeah, both him and his brother messaged me.
It's something that comes up over the course of the two films, that you've kind of become a character in his sort of online universe. You're the focus of a lot of anger from him, his brother, and also his kind of legion of online fans. So why did you... I'm just trying to phrase this in a way without going, what are you thinking? But what made you want to go back and make another film about him?
Well, because the first film just didn't scratch the surface of what we've uncovered. Right. And this new film, what it really gets into isn't just Andrew Tate, but the people behind Andrew Tate. And in particular, his secret all-male society, the War Room, which we uncover evidence that suggests the War Room, at least in part, exists to teach men to groom women into online sex work through forms of coercion, isolation, and manipulation. Now, it's important to remember not all men who are in the War Room will engage in that activity and listen to those teachings, but that is a part of it. At least the evidence that we've seen suggests that. And not just the War Room, but also he has these generals that are at the top of the War Room with names like the Sartorial Shooter and the Right Hand of Wudon and names like that. And one of those generals is a man who goes by the name Iggy Semmelweis. He's a self-proclaimed wizard. He claims to have powers of hypnosis. And the film that we've just released, it goes into a lot of detail on him and basically uncovers that he was instrumental in the creation of Andrew Tate and his War Room. And one of the really interesting parts about that is he's a student of comparative mythology and is very into this idea of a hero and an anti-hero. And so to some degree, putting me as this kind of arch nemesis is part of their marketing campaign.
Just explain to us what the War Room is, because there's like three, or maybe there's more. There seems to be sort of three key layers to his business, and the kind of closest inner circle is the War Room. Every layer, we should say, involves handing over eye-wateringly large sums of money to Andrew Tate. But what is the War Room?
Yeah, that's exactly right. So the first level of Andrew Tate followers are his followers on social media. He has millions. At one point, he was the most searched person, one of the most searched people on TikTok. And at one point, he was the most Googled man in the world. And then a lot of those filter up to The Real World, which is his kind of online course, which teaches you how to become wealthy and successful like him.
So is that Hustlers University?
It was previously called Hustlers University. That's right. And then some of those people will filter up into his most exclusive society, the War Room. Once inside, you get access to a Telegram group and the option to spend even more money. By the way, it costs $8,000 a year to join the War Room. Yeah. But then you get the option to spend even more money with exclusive courses and events around the world.
I think it's really important that we get into Tate, the misogynist, and that's such a key part of who he is. But there's also this huge kind of sort of strange kind of hardline extreme capitalism running through a lot of these things. And Hustlers University, a lot of the courses are telling people about sort of cryptocurrency and investments, right? What is the actual purpose of Hustlers University?
It's a really good question, because you could argue the actual purpose of Hustlers University is to make Andrew Tate and his friends money.
Yeah.
But ostensibly, the purpose is to help you escape what he calls the matrix and become rich. Becoming rich is how you escape the matrix. And somehow he's rebranded this kind of hyper-capitalist desire to become rich through crypto, etc., and own a bunch of cars as rebellious and kind of punk rock in a way.
Yeah.
And that he is this kind of rebellious hero that's going to help you, break through and escape by earning lots of money.
And when we say the matrix, we basically just mean like society as we know it.
Yeah, I think the best description of the Matrix is a kind of global conspiracy of the media and the government that aims to keep young men from knowing the truth about life. You're both part of the Matrix. I'm part of the Matrix.
Yeah,
Oh, how fun. I can't
much.
do any like high kicks or I can't like melt my face like they can in the Matrix though. It's very sad.
I know this is not the more serious points, but so much cultural damage has been done by people willfully misunderstanding the Matrix.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's like a whole generation of people watched Terminator and came out pro Skynet. Like it does. Like it's like I don't think you understood any of the core messages of this film, which its creators have confirmed is an allegory for being a transgender person. Like it's absolutely bananas.
That and Fight Club as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, people who watched Fight Club and were like, Brad Pitt was cool.
Yeah.
So I think one of the things that, whenever I talk to people about Andrew Tate, there's this idea that like, this is just a fringe nut job, like what you described there about wizards and mythology, you could argue that this is a cult. Why is this such of grave concern to Westminster, to policing, to teachers, to us on this podcast? Why are we talking about it? And I suppose my theory is that, well, Andrew Tate is just a symptom. And if you got rid of him, there'd be another one. And this is a cultural thing that is happening that has real world impacts. Is that what you found in your investigations?
I think there's something uniquely worrying about Andrew Tate in that, like you said, it's the kind of thing that we, on this podcast, politicians, teachers, parents, we're all like, this guy is clearly a fringe figure, or maybe everyone knows who he is, but they all think he's ridiculous. Yeah. But that would be a mistake because our sons and our nephews don't think that. And you pointed out that 52% of 16 to 17-year-olds are more likely to have heard of Andrew Tate than have heard of Rishi Sunak. Also more likely to have a positive view of him than not. And that number goes higher the younger you go, to a degree, similar in loads of countries around the world. So if we aren't aware of what our children are looking at, then we'll just be sleepwalking into a world where we're raising a generation of Andrew Tates. And you'd be forgiven for thinking that society's become more progressive on this issue with the Me Too movement and et cetera, but actually it could be going the other way.
And we are seeing examples of that already. We've seen teachers talking about how classrooms are simply just unmanageable now, particularly if you're a female teacher, because the male pupils are quite literally saying, why are you teaching me? You should be making me a sandwich. The Department of Education have had to take action about this. There are courses that are being run to help teachers manage this kind of toxicity in their classroom. And every single course sells out. If we take down Andrew Tate,